show of hands, can I see how many people have been in a band before? Or have also known someone who's been in a band that you know is really good, and pretty much everyone. Well, whether it be your band, a friend's band, or a local band you may have saw that maybe may have been really good, you might be wondering, you know, why aren't they more popular? And you'll know that spreading your name, getting your name out there is one of the hardest things to do. And this is because of the changes that have come about in the music industry in the past decade. And today, I would like to enlighten you about these changes, why they have surfaced, what it means for record labels, and what it means to us, the consumer and listener. First, a bit of history about record labels. The first record label was Columbia Records. They were formed in 1888, and this was before pre-recorded music was actually invented. And they initially sold phonographs for Edison. They sold wax cylinders. They were before records. It was just a real basic form of recorded music. And throughout the century, they moved on to records, tapes, 8-tracks, and CDs. The music industry proved to be a very profitable industry for everybody included with it, and because people like listen to their favorite music at home. And people still love this, but times have changed, mainly due to the digital revolution. And the digital revolution has brought about mainly piracy, and it's hurt CD sales very dramatically. And the chart from the RIAA website, and pretty much you see how CD sales peaked in 2000 at 942.5 million CD shipped, and you can see it goes up until 2007, and there's only 511. That's like a 45% loss in CD sales. And although the digital revolution has brought about like iTunes and Napster, legal Napster, and it's brought about album sales on the internet, but as you can see, it's only about 42.5 million record sales online. That's nowhere near make up for all the piracy that's come about. And on average, about 1 billion music files are shared every day on peer-to-peer networks. So what is piracy responsible for? Record labels are now hurting for money, and the RIAA states that 85% of records that they produce and artists they record, their album does not recover even recording costs to produce that album. And who loses out because of this? Artists, namely creative artists, that lose out. In earlier times, before all this, the record label would own the CD, and bands would make money off merchandise and touring and playing live shows. But now record labels are hurting for money, so they sign a 360-degree deal in which they pretty much own everything about you. So they make, they control your merchandise and all your, CD sales. So artists really don't get that much money from it. And record labels no longer have the freedom to take a chance on an artist that they don't know for sure is going to, sell millions of copies. A couple examples of these artists are the Beastie Boys and Metallica. The Beastie Boys were scrutinized at first, they're like a white rap band, and they were scrutinized, but they had huge success on the charts. And Metallica pretty much invented thrash metal, and it was a very underground scene in the early 80s. And Elektra Records took a chance on them, signed them, and they ended up selling 90 million records over the course of three decades. And many of your favorite artists could be attributed to this. And another example is like Dr. Dre and his Death Row Records. He picked up Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and many of them were very successful. The BBC did an article about this, saying how the music business is killing creativity. And artist Dave Stewart, he found stardom in this band Eurythmics. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he started his own label in the UK. It's supposed to be artist-friendly, and he warns that record labels are killing creativity in the pursuit of huge profits. And he says labels who control 75% of the releases in the UK are so concerned with using manufactured and rehashed products to follow short-term trends that they pass out on a lot of real talent. And he plans to nurture bands and says that if he does the right thing and pick up talented bands, that he might not do so well. He thinks the money will follow. And he also made a comment to EMI, the record company, and he said, and EMI responded and said it's nonsense that their acts have no creative license. He says that record labels say, we want this kind of product because we know it's going to sell, it's been done before. And it's funny because one of EMI's acts was a Radiohead, and if you've heard anything about Radiohead in the last year or two, that Tom York, or they released their last album online, and they had you can either download for free or you can make a donation. They found that about 60% of people made a donation, like $2 or $3, but they ended up making more on that than they have on their previous records. And Tom York of Radiohead calls the labels a decaying business model, and a lot of other bands joined Radiohead, including 9 Inch Nails. And this is something that Trent Reznor posted on his website. Pretty much says that after 18 years of being attached to a record label, they're finally free. And he says, look for some announcements in the near future regarding 2008, exciting times. And so he's really excited about how he's no longer attached to a record label and he can do pretty much whatever he wants. And other artists such as Prince, Madonna, and Paul McCartney have also defected. These are A-list artists who have, they have been in the recording industry, and they know how the record labels hear music. And it's kind of ironic because these A-list artists have become big through their record labels, but I think it says something that now they're going against it. The industry is changing, and record labels haven't adapted to it. They relied on CD sales for too long, and Trent Reznor says they are greedy and have screwed themselves out of a job pretty much. In all the years since the digital revolution and like iTunes, they all jumped on it. They've been making money on it, and the record industry has not adapted. They've been trying to prosecute people for pirating, and most of the time it takes more money to prosecute someone than it does, than they get in return from it. And he also, Trent Reznor also says that record labels, because they screw themselves out of job pretty much, and people don't buy overpriced albums, they take it off on ripping off the public pretty much. And the recording industry has turned into a record label telling a band what they want and how they want it, when really the band might want to do something else. So, in conclusion, it is a mix of piracy and corporate greed that has ultimately killed music. It is a shame that the tradition of all genres is being hurt due to the record companies wanting records that have been done before. And so maybe the next time your favorite artist releases an album, you might go out and buy it to help save it.
So, Stacy, what did you think?
I liked how he connected his speech with the audience in the beginning, and I thought the speech was well organized, and I liked that he maintained eye contact with the audience, and I thought the visuals, the systems were good.
Okay. I thought the audience survey at the beginning was a little bit awkward, but you did a good job transitioning to what your general topic was. I thought you had an excellent thesis statement and a very clear justification for talking about the subject, and there was a good preview of what the content was going to be. I didn't think that the organizational follow-through was quite as strong as the setup in the preview. At the end of the speech, it sounds more like it's kind of shifted gears from an explanation about how the business model is changing to kind of persuasive argument about corporate greed and the lack of imagination, And I was wondering a little bit more about, well, how do we overcome that? What is it that's going to happen that's going to fix that? That's what I thought the speech was going to be about, how we were going to shift from one paradigm of delivering information and entertainment to another one, and how that was switching over. And it seemed like I said before, that it kind of shifted back and back to a different kind of topic. The